Hi, everyone. It's Justin. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. It's a pleasure to be able to come to you wherever you are, whether you're watching, listening, if this is your first episode, or if you've been with us from the beginning. We are grateful to have you, regardless of how familiar you are with Voices for Voices or not. So we want to thank each and every one of you for your love and support of our organization, of our mission, of helping others, of giving a platform to share stories of mental health and trauma and mental illness, and uh, and just be able to tell their story. And it is huge to be able to do that. I know personally from experience that it's huge uh, to have somebody that cares, that is allowing you to tell your experiences, your story, not mine, but the individuals. And I think it's huge to be able to have a platform, a way to be able to do that. And Voices for Voices is that platform. We are just very excited. We're humbled. We're grateful for the opportunity to have this time, both here in the United States and across the world. And that just uh, it's just incredible. And we don't take topics lightly. We do dive into difficult topics and difficult areas, uh, but it's part of life, and so that's how that kind of emanates from us and from our episodes, that we cover topics and areas that others won't, and that's okay. uh, that's just how we like to handle it, because we're living, we're human beings. Not all moments are happy and joyful, uh, like the movies, or like if you scroll through, excuse me, social media feeds and see how, uh, oh, look at this person, look, they're living their life, they're always on vacation, they're at the beach, they're doing all these things, or they're meeting celebrities or whoever. And uh, that's just not the case on a day-to-day basis. There's real problems, real struggles, real things that people have to navigate through. And this is whether, no matter if you're just a person, an individual, or if you're an organization. There's things that we like to do, and then there's things that we don't like to do. However, we still need to do those things we don't like to do, because it makes the things we like to do possible. And that's probably the best way I can explain that. What we'd like to uh, really hone in on in this particular episode is is support. And support can take a myriad of ways, directions, paths. And and so when we sat down and we were talking about how we wanted to cover this particular area, there's the hesitation of, well, we really don't want to cover this. We don't want to talk about this. And we'll just let it go. And, things will just, I don't know, go back to normal, whatever normal is. Uh, we, in the end, though, came to the conclusion that we probably should do a show on support. And I'm gonna get into excuse me, my throat just got that going on. So apologies for that. Support again takes a lot of different ways, shapes, forms. Uh, we're gonna cover it from an organization standpoint, a state standpoint, as Ohio is a state in the United States of America, and so we're going to look at what that means, and then lastly we're going to talk about, and all these are interconnected, so they'll run together, but just so you have an idea, is we're going to talk about political implications of support of the state of Ohio, part of the United States of America. and we're gonna, these areas are gonna kind of mesh together because they're all related. But support is really the, I say, the foundation, or the linchpin of what we're going to get into. So let's get into it. 7 minutes in, let's roll. Uh, so support can come in different ways, right? It can come in the form of, thoughts and prayers, or can come in the form of money, donations, paychecks, lottery winnings. Uh, the can come in the form of, medical care, or prescription care, or eye care. EYE. So when I say I care, I do care, capital I. But for this, we're talking about, IEYE. And so there's just a myriad of again, a myriad of different types of support. We're looking at things at the uh, let's say like the, maybe the legal support, but it's still legal support in the state of Ohio, uh, and what all that kind of means. So what am I talking about? Why am I speaking in what seems to be code? Not intentionally doing that. Uh, again, sometimes we're able to get the topics quicker, uh, and others it takes a little bit of explaining, a little bit of description to get into what we're talking about. And so we're talking about our organization, Voices for Voices. Okay. So we're talking about support. We're talking about Voices for Voices. We're talking about the state of Ohio. And then we're talking about, like, the kind of political implications of how politics uh, can play a role or not play a role. And so support. So we're talking about legal support. We're talking about human topics, uh, and we're looking at the fact that we live in a state of Ohio who have elected representatives who uh, the individuals that going to be referring to are elected individuals. So there's an election, and who has the most votes wins, and they and so on. Then the story goes on, and then you have kind of like the legal side of things where, do we get involved from a legal standpoint, or don't we get involved from a legal standpoint? And politically, what does that mean, right? I remember, uh, very vividly. So I went to my undergrad at Youngstown State University, and one of my classes, I think it was political science. Uh, the teacher, the instructor, was a mayor of a, a nearby city, and what he told us has stuck with me all these years later. And that is this: the goal of a politician is to get elected. Once a politician is elected, the next goal is to get reelected. So once a politician is elected, then from that day forward, they are in reelection mode. What do I need to talk about? What topics do I need to talk about? What demographics? What areas? Uh what do I need to, again, what do I need to do to get reelected? It's like, well, man, we just got reelected. We just got elected yesterday. And we're already talking about reelection. Well, yeah, that's the name of the game. And so, right, different different topics that are more important than others. Uh, and so the politicians staff helps them, helps them uncover what those are, so that the politician, the representative, whatever you want to call it, talking about elected offices, uh, so they focus their time on that, because we don't have unlimited amount of time. We have to hone in and really focus on what are those areas that's really going to swing an election, what's going to help me get elected and then reelected. That's that's what we're talking about. So we have elected officials live in the state of Ohio. There's legal implications all over the place. Individual organizations, and then we talk about, let's say, like, humanity, because what we're talking about, what we're going to be getting into, is humanity, and so we'll jump right in. Uh, And so, I've been transparent. I am transparent, but been transparent, will continue to be as transparent as possible. But what I wanted to do today is to really use my voice, our organization, Voices for Voices, our voices, to share disappointment and some elected officials here in the state of Ohio. And you hear me say we try not to get into things politically, and we really don't. That's not Voices for Voices is about. It's not about political. Uh, I mean, we all have our views and thoughts and all that, but we don't we don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Uh, we're voices for voices. It's not voices for Democrat voices or voices for Republican voices or voices for independent or libertarian. Those aren't there. So it doesn't matter to me, to us, where somebody lands. We don't look at that and go, oh, well, we don't want to have that person or that organization as a guest. We don't do that. Uh, and so I wanted to get that out there first and foremost as we continue this conversation. So we have elected officials, and again, I'm obviously gonna be careful because this is not to badmouth anybody. This is just us talking about uh, being disappointed in some of our elected officials here in the state of Ohio. Uh, and so obviously the word's out that uh, that we as an organization have been uh, sued civilly by Faith Fantasy Alliance, aka Realm Makers, aka Realm, aka Realm Sphere, aka Scott Miner, aka Rebecca Miner, among others. So we know about that. That's out there, right? And so where I'm coming from on this show is, we as we grow up and as we kind of mold into who we are as we continue to grow and learn each and every day. We're taught and we're told that, oh, if there's a topic of concern, thoughts, ideas, comments, whatever, we should reach out to our elected officials and, uh, since they are, our elected officials are voted in. And so, regardless of what anybody says or how anybody acts, elected officials work for the people that voted. And sometimes we're going to vote and the candidate or candidates we vote for, sometimes they're going to win and sometimes they're going to lose. That's just the way life is. We can't have control over that. So, whether it's an elected official or a candidate, all of it kind of comes together with what we're talking about. So, us as an organization, we're sued for basically telling the truth. We're we're being sued for uh, saying and covering areas and topics that some individuals just don't like it because for whatever reason, I don't know. Uh, and so we come on, we share facts, we share stories, uh, and we show receipts, and so it's interesting because, right, I said, we're taught to like call and share and let our elected officials know where we stand and if there's areas that could be looked at or whatever. And here in the state of Ohio, and why I bring this up politically is not because of who who we voted for. It's the fact I don't care if I voted for them or not. Uh, However, it has a special place where when we do vote for the person or persons and they do get elected and they are in that position, whether that's a representative, a council member, whether that's a senator, whether that's at the state level or whether that's at the national level, uh, whoever it is, uh, what party they represent, doesn't matter when we're talking about humans. And so when we're talking about humans and human trafficking and what we believe to be in good faith information and facts and 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 so when we do that, uh, we uh, we kind of move forward because we're like, well, this is and these are things that we've seen, we've heard their own eyes with our own ears, uh, and so when this lawsuit comes out as an organization founded in the state of Ohio, as an individual myself residing in the state of Ohio, in myself, a special place, myself voting for the individuals we're going to talk about to get into the office that they are, which are senators from the state of Ohio. And so the senators in Washington, D.C., there's senators and there's representatives on the state level and then the federal level. So this is federal senators, two. So each state gets two. Uh, in the state of Ohio, and again, we voted for them. And I'm only bringing that up because that's where it really, as we talk and we listen and we share and have discussions and debates and all that stuff's great. Uh, but when, like I said, we're being told, "Oh, call and send your concern or comment or whatever," reach out. So we reach out and we get nothing. And I really don't like to name drop. I really don't. Uh, Number one, the first person, I mean, I'm going to name drop because it doesn't seem like anything gets accomplished if we don't lay it out there. So that's what we're going to do. Uh, First is Senator John Husted, state of Ohio, representing the state of Ohio in Washington, D.C. Sir, I reached out to you, reached out to your office, wanted to talk, wanted uh, wanted some support, not money, but support with the matter at hand. And Mr. Husted, you have not responded. Just fact. besides the automated email, you have not responded. And as number one, a citizen of the United States of America, a citizen who lives in the state of Ohio, a citizen who has a business, Voices for Voices in the state of Ohio, and a person who voted for you, I'm very disappointed in you. Very disappointed in you, Senator Joh Husted. Are there other topics that are important? I mean, only you can decide, Mr. Husted. But I'd have to say that if you have children, nephews, nieces, I would think human trafficking and an organization and a person and that lives in the state to vote for you. Uh, I would think that would be important to like want to learn more about the situation and what's going on. And so I'm very disappointed in you, Mr. Husted, and your staff that you couldn't even take a minute out of your day to care about one of your constituents who's fighting for what we believe is right. We're fighting to help people so they don't have to go through horrible conditions. And so that's first and foremost. Uh, I don't like saying this because again, you're our representative. You're one of the two senators in the state of Ohio that represent us in Washington, D.C. So very disappointed is how we'll just talk about it. I think anybody would be disappointed, right? I mean, we're told call, reach out, blah 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 blah, and then when it comes down to it, not a damn thing's done. Not even a call back, not an email, nothing. And so if you won't give back to somebody who lives in your state, who has a business in your state, who voted for you in the state, then who are you listening to? And I'll just let that hang. I don't know who you're listening to. I'm not insinuating anything. I'm just saying, well, you're not listening to us. You're not listening to me. And I don't want to hear this. Well, we get so many messages and the volume's so high, and so we can't get back. It's been a number of days. This isn't something that this morning or yesterday that came about. It's been several days. In fact, it's been weeks. And so, Mr. Joh Husted, Senator for the state of Ohio, very disappointed in you. And we'll just have to rethink voting in the next election. Straight up. So that's the first individual. And the second individual is also our state senator. So basically, so both of our Ohio state senators represent the state of Ohio and constituents, supposedly, is what they say. That's what they claim, but well, I don't know. Uh, and so this other state or other senator that represents us in the state of Ohio and constituents in Washington, D.C. is Bernie Moreno. Now, unlike Mr. Husted, I did receive some feedback and some communication with Mr. Moreno's staff. So I'll give that. I'll give that to, Mr. Bernie Moreno's staff, that we at least heard something. But at the end of the day, we weren't asking for money. We're asking to look into very important situations. And these aren't situations that are just happening in other countries. They're happening right here in Ohio. And so again, it's very disappointing with Mr. Bernie Moreno, again, an individual that I voted for. I live in the state of Ohio individually. Uh, I have a business, Voices for Voices. Yeah, I might have heard of it. Yeah, that's also, in the state of Ohio. And so although we got some communication back and forth, in the end, was not able to actually talk to him. I'm not able to talk to Bernie Moreno, uh, to have a visit, to have a call. And again, I don't want to hear this. We get so much communication, we can't get back. Well, you got back to me, but apparently the topic and the area and areas that we're we're in and we want to share and talk about because it's a public safety concern. And I would think, as any elected official, just like any parent that sees a public safety concern, that they want to alert the public. And so again, we weren't and we aren't looking for money from, these individuals. And we were given, well, we can't take a stance, whatever. Okay. So when we're talking about people, individuals being bought and sold, human beings being bought and sold, that's not important to you. That's not a topic you want to look into. And so it begs to wonder again, why isn't this something you want to learn more about? I'm not from a different state. I'm not I don't live in a different state. I don't, Voices for Voices isn't, uh, wasn't founded and started in a different state. I'm an actual United States of American citizen that lives in the state of Ohio, who votes in the state of Ohio, who has an organization in the state of Ohio, Voices for Voices. Maybe you could check it out sometime. I hear they have a great TV show and podcast. And so with these two individuals who are our voice, who are supposed to be our voices for people like myself and others in the state of Ohio, we feel left down, left we feel let down. And again, I'm only bringing this, not only, but one of the reasons I'm bringing it up is because I voted for both of you, Mr. Bernie Moreno and uh, Mr. John Husted. And so that's why it has a special place in my heart, and why I'm so passionate, why we're so passionate, why we're making an episode about this, is because of how disappointed we are. We can't get a public statement. We can't get a like I said, I couldn't even talk to either one of them. Still to this day, I've not been able to talk to state or national Senator Bernie Moreno from the state of Ohio and National Senator Joh Husted from the state of Ohio. So this all just comes up, and I just want to say here at the end, so why do we vote? Well, yeah, we vote on topics and issues and that. Well, the topics and issues come from people. They come from the constituents, the people that live in the particular area, the territory, the state, the township, the city, whatever. And it's just a darn shame that these happen. And this is high profile too. So I also want to add this in that our organization is high profile. I didn't When I started it and founded it, I had no idea. We had dreams and aspirations, but had no idea we would get to where we're at and continue where we're at and where we're going. So because of that, and because of the topics and issues, because we ruffle feathers or whatever or analogy you want to say of, because we talk about, real topics that are happening and have happened to people. Some people don't want to hear that. They just want to pretend that's not happening. So voices for voices, Justin Allen Hayes, anybody who's associated with us is very, very, very disappointed in our senators from the state of Ohio, Bernie Moreno and Joh Husted. That's what this episode's about. And so once Bernie and John got elected, coming full circle, what's their job once they're elected? To get reelected. And so I'm gonna have to think long and hard about not only who I'll vote for in the next election, but all our followers, our supporters, who actually support and believe in our mission, believe in us, and been with us from the beginning or tuning in here for the first time. We have people in the state of Ohio that actually we have a lot of people in the state of Ohio. I have a lot of people everywhere, but definitely here in the state of Ohio that follow us, that are in tune with what's happening. And so that's also a shame that I have to spend an entire episode, our time and our energy on this. We're supposed to be able to, as we learn, as we're growing up and through school and conferences, we're supposed to be able to reach out to our representatives, and we're supposed to be able to get some feedback and have conversations. I reached also out to our Governor Mike DeWine. Same story. Voted for him. I live in the state. Voices for Voices is founded, and Our world headquarters is in the state of Ohio. I got nothing from our governor either. And that's, I think, why people get upset, speaking more broadly, is we're told to reach out, we're told to contact our representatives. Well, when we do that and we don't get a response, we can either stop or we can bring things to light that might jumpstart some new strategies for these individuals who are living and being paid by the tax dollars that my family, my fellow Ohioans are paying. And so it is a darn shame we can't get any response. We can't get feedback. We can't get a meeting. We can't have a joint statement. We can't talk about, what's really going on. And again, there's there's going to be another election, and it doesn't matter what party or what person or that or whatever. I mean, if I can't get and our organization can't get we can't get feedback in times of sometimes a need, and with it being a high profile topic and us being a high profile organization, well, I'm not going to vote for you again, nor should anybody else. And so then maybe y'all have to actually do your job and maybe care a little bit more about the people to put you in office who are paying your salary so you and your families can live, enjoy it, and live the comfortable lives or that you're living. So from Voices for Voices, from Justin Allen Hayes, from everybody that's uh, been a part in the past, current, and future, just know that we're not going to back down. We're not going to stop talking about this. We're going to advocate for things we believe in, things morally, ethically, and share those stories, share those voices. So this was a tough one to get through here, but it had to be done. Had to share it, had to talk about it, had to inform, make you aware because it's on a human, it's just not right. It's just not right. So state senator or national senator from the state of Ohio, Bernie Moreno, and John Husted, I I don't know what else to say. And say good luck, but I can't recommend anybody to vote for either of you in any election. But if you're an organization or you're an individual We have that First Amendment here in the United States for free speech. So use it, share it, share your voice, reach out to us. We'll help you share your voice, share your story, your experiences, good, bad, and different. And we'll hopefully start getting some action and getting some people in office who truly care and will truly have conversation and actually support in whatever way they can one of their constituents, one of their businesses that are in their states or territories or townships or cities and uh, all of that. So again, we tackle the tough topics. We talk about the things that are in some of our heads, and we we don't want to talk about for fear of retribution. We've already gotten that, so uh, we're just doing the best we can, and we want to thank each and every one of you for being with us, for being with Voices for Voices. You all are amazing. We love each and every one of you, and we pray and hope, and God bless each one of you. God bless you if you're in the United States, across the world, and God bless all humanity. And until next time, please be a voice for you or somebody in need. We'll see you. We'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.